So as you know, I said in a previous video, I don't know, a few weeks ago, that I was going to try to cut the grass every week this year instead of every couple of weeks. I used to do it when I just didn't think the lawnmower could go through it anymore. That would save on gas was my thinking, and it was a good gas saver. You figure, let's just say I use a gallon of gas for every mowing, and if I do it every week, that's 4 gallons a week or a month. But if I did it once a month, you'd use a little bit extra gas per mow, but you wouldn't use 4 gallons per month. So you'd use, let's say, a gallon and a half. But I wasn't able to mow last week because it rained and rained and rained and rained, and now I have a forest here. So I'm going to try to hack through this. We'll go a little slow. You got to get the John Deere out. Do be careful when you're removing tarps. You don't want snakes to come after you. You know, people complain that I use a tarp to cover up my lawnmowers, but John Deere themselves sell a cover, because they know some people just can't, use a garage. So I don't think it's a big deal. I've had this for 5 years and it still looks new. Well, it's cut. I like it when it's cut. It's really nice. You know, the trolls always tell me, your neighbors must hate you as junky as your yard is. That's just junky. You're just junky. If I were you, I'd be calling somebody or somebody. But, you know, they haven't cut their grass all season. So, you know, it's, I guess it's all relative. You know, if you live in the city, you know what? Stay there. I don't want you here. I remember when we first moved here, guy came down and says, you're not going to call an HOA out here, are you? No. So, got the weed trimming done. You know, I bought that weed trimmer for like, I don't know, 50 bucks. I put a carburetor on it. It runs great. It's a Stihl chainsaw, or a weed eater. Those things would have been expensive too. So, something to say about working on your own equipment. I'm going to come up here and top off the water, I think. Since the inverter's on, I had to turn the inverter on. We had to cut a piece of plywood this morning. A little bit wore out now. All that walking around with the weed eater. Black snake tried to run across, or squirm across, or whatever you want to call it. The solar panel, trying to run up it. I scared it with the lawnmower, so. This won't take long, it's not very empty. I try to fill it every day now. I missed the other day, and usually when I miss, that's the day Carolyn's got to do laundry, so it's double the work. Turn on the switch and wait for it to come up here. We'll come back up to the tank to make sure it's coming out of the hose. So, not much else going on today. I got some parts that came in. That's what's so frustrating about the USPS delivering the mail instead of UPS. Because UPS was pretty tight on their schedule. But one of the parts wasn't supposed to be here till Wednesday. This is Saturday. And another part wasn't supposed to be here till Thursday. Well, they're both here today. Of course, I made plans to cut grass. And I think we're going to go to a yard sale. And so I'm not going to be able to work on it today, so I'll have to work on it on Sunday. So it'd be nice to get the parts, you know, get the lawnmowers done early. Customers always appreciate that. But it does make planning difficult. So I think that's all I got for today. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my other channel. So if I can inspire you to live your dreams, sing of your dreams. Thanks for watching.